All right, everyone. So now we're gonna mix Dexter and Jimmy Neutron together.
Dexter Neutron.
Okay, so jumping right in, right? Debbie and Candi, both of you did such a splendid job in bringing some of the most genius characters to life and one of the most memorable of all time. So on that note, when you look at Debbie, when you look at Jimmy Neutron, what was it like when you went into the booth for the first time to the last time? Did you really think that this character would have really impacted the world as it did and for generations upon generations?
You know, I think I speak for all of us, when we get a job and we go in and we do what we do, we never know if that show is going to take off or not. The first time we did Jimmy Neutron, or Johnny Quasar, it was on a little VHS. I'm holding it so you can see what a VHS looks like. But they gave us these little 10-minute interstitials. And it was the first time I saw CGI, and I was like, that's really cute. Maybe it'll go somewhere. But we do so many of these, and yeah, and we did the movie first, and so that was very exciting, and sitting in LA studios and watching famous people walk by, and Patrick Stewart, hello! So we never ever know if it's gonna do well or not, but I mean, for me, walking into the studio and getting to work with the people who make me laugh, I'm not funny, I'm just a straight guy. But being in a studio with Candi and Rob and Mark DiCarlo and Jeff Garcia and Megan DiCarlo, or just Megan Kavanaugh, they're all funny, but it takes a give and take. You know, as Candi said, we are all equal when we're in front of the microphone and we have our lines and we get our turn and we do our thing. But I think the camaraderie and the chemistry of it all is what makes it funny. And each of these casts had these magical combinations of crazy, amazing, funny actors and straight ones. That and when I say straight ones, I mean I don't consider myself funny, but I think I offer Rob a good sounding board so that he can be so brilliant. And
You're as straight as they come, honey.
Thank you, Jeff.
I think I did not know. I know that they were all together, Jeff Garcia, everybody was in the Johnny Quasar, and then I got called in to read for this kid that was on a skateboard. He was like a kind of cool dude, but I didn't read for the series. I only read for the movie. And I didn't know what it was, but I got excited to read for the movie because I thought, oh, I'm going to get movie money. And then I thought, this is so great, but you know what I got? Cartoon money. And the film, I mean, we were treated so nicely, and it was such an amazing experience. But I got in, and I think one of the things I do as an actor, as we all do, is you figure out what instrument you play in the orchestra. And it's not like you stick in your lane, but I'm not the lead. And I do know that when Jimmy Neutron was a success and then he was a series out of it, that's when the studios started to interfere, again like they did with Cow and Chicken. And they decided that they wanted to pump up my character because it was less weird looking. And thank goodness, and I don't know if you know, Debbie, the creators of that show, and Mark Davis and everybody in Odenkirk, they would not allow them to do that, that I remained second banana. And I have to tell you, I was uncomfortable coming to read in scripts, and then I noticed, and this is how studios interfere, then I noticed I was coming in to read without Debbie being there. And I thought, this is just so weird, and it was something that whatever they did, you know, you get somebody that doesn't get it, and when they don't get it, they don't get it. And I was so happy that Debbie didn't go anywhere, but that executive did. And I was really pleased, and we remained the most insane cast. I mean, I'm looking at Jeff Garcia's thing. He was so funny as she put up against Carl, who's the brilliant Rob Paulsen, who to this day can say one line, and for some reason it strikes me, but it wasn't an easy time for the women who were leads on series because they were always looking for a reason to put a man in it. And that was really what it came down to, is that they were, I felt, Debbie, that when I went in to read alone, what they were really saying was, because they didn't sound like my lines, but it said Nick, and I thought, oh my God, are they having me on the down low? And it was just one of those where my agent at the time said, if you're looking to replace her, she won't read. She will not come down and do that. She will not read for that belongs to somebody else. And so I know that's kind of a downer thing, but I think that would, if you respect your fellow voice actors, you're a team and you stay a team. And if it made a magical movie where we got an Oscar nomination, it was going to make a magical series if they would just leave it alone. And they eventually did, and you know, who knows why they stopped it. I'm sure it was showbiz politics in nature, but you know, it was the Jimmy Neutron show, and you had to be careful as another woman to playing a boy, not to switch over into Debbie's lane.
You know what they did to me? This is a little story that I'll tell 23 years later. When we got picked up in our cars to go to the premiere at Paramount, it was so much fun. I was all dressed up. I took my mom and dad. We got in the limousine and they drove us to Paramount. And the Paramount publicist called me on my flip phone and said, Debbie, don't walk the red carpet. We don't want anyone to know Jimmy Neutron's a girl. And back then I was like, okay, no problem. But today, if they said that to Candi or I, they would not get the same answer.
Right.
I am so grateful to all the fans who, took Jimmy in. Today, I get people coming to the table saying, I didn't know Jimmy Neutron was a girl. But I mean, we all are, because if the series does well and the little boy they cast is going to hit puberty, you got to recast. But we never hit puberty.
Yeah. Puberty was a lot. I got something else I'm about to hit, but we're talking about that privately. Stop by my table. I'll tell you all about where I am right now. Right now I'm hot. I'm just going to say that. Right now I'm a little warm. That's okay.
You're absolutely right, because I saw about 4 Littlefoots come and go through Land Before Time. Poor little guys.
Right?
Yeah, like, it's not going to hit that high note anymore. We got to let.
Time's got an asteroid to kill all them damn little dinosaurs.
All the babies didn't make it.
Yeah, they ended up on the shelves of Walmart in Land Before Time 14.
We can't sell no more of them stuffed dinosaurs if the little fella's voice cracks. Come on, asteroid, kill every goddamn one of them. Start over.
Yeah. And you played that one that didn't even talk. He just.
I had the best gig on Land Before Time. I played Spike, and all I had to do was say, "Arr." So, hey Spike, are you hungry?
Arr.
There's a true star. You want to eat? Arr. Are you sad? Arr. Here's American money.
And they paid it for that.
Yeah.
Like, we can go to work all day and never say a word.
I will tell you.
And now they're really.
Who knows Coco from Foster's Home? Somebody said, greatest job ever. And they were like, and were you saying actual words? And I was like, I knew there were words on the page, but when I finished my Cocos, I just look at the actor like, your turn.
Your turn.
Because I'm not going to do the extra work of figuring out how many syllables are in that. But I do think that it's the cohesion of the cast, and I do think that's the magic. You saw that with Cow and Chicken. You see that with Jimmy Neutron. You also can't have anybody else but Mark DiCarlo as the dad with the pie. You can't have anybody else that Jeff Garcia with as Sheen. You can't have anybody but Megan Cavanaugh, who, by the way, anytime Jimmy Neutron burped, it was Megan. She can burp on cue, and I mean a
Very
burp
specific talent.
very
great
specific
burper.
lengths of time. It's like one of those, but you think about that, that's really true. And the shows that don't do it are constantly replacing somebody in it, and then they just fade away. But we were really lucky. And please, Rob, you have to do it. We were having a meltdown of the day, and I don't know. I wish Jeff was here because he remembers the situation, but it was tense. And suddenly Rob leaned into the microphone, and we were all kind of looking down. Someone was in a bad mood, and Rob leaned into the microphone and said, please.
Do it, do it.
I leaned into the microphone and I said, Jesus helps me trick people. And it was so funny because not only did Candi wet her pants, she wet mine. And I liked it.
I just want you to know that he kills me 23 years later because it was so tense, and it was probably Jeff Garcia not knowing his lines or missing the cue because I don't know, and he did that, and I'm old now, and I'm sure I'm still wetting my pants, but I can't feel it, so we're okay. But I swear to God, when he did that, it was so inappropriate for Carl to say that, and it was so non sequitur, and it broke the ice, and we moved on. And then I thought, there can never in my life be another Carl. There cannot be. And I had a doctor that I had to get rid of because his first name was Carl. And every time I walked in, I said to him, hi, Dr. Carl Brown.
How did you pee on him?
I need to pee.
It's a pretty good way to get rid of even an Amazon guy.
Carl is so iconic. I mean, I even stole Carl for F is for Family. I don't know if any of you watched that show where I say a lot of bad words with Bill Burr. I stole him and used him for Philip. I mean, we all steal really great voices from each other, but thank you for Carl.
You're welcome.
Because I did Philip like Carl.
Yeah, I think I told you this at the last con that I stole Carl's voice from my dog. He had a little Jack Russell.
High praise indeed.
And anytime he would come up to the table, all I would hear is Rob's voice as Carl, you know.
Can I have an apple? Are you going to have any French fries? You want to drop on the ground? I'm so proud. Thank you. I peed on me and I liked it.
So can you imagine, you've got Debbie, like doing her Jimmy Neutron voice, you got Jay talking like this, like these missing brain cells, and you have Carl in the back, and I'm sitting there thinking, what fresh hell is this? Where am I? I'm doing like the cool kid, and they were trying to write me out, and I was like, all I kept doing was falling off my skateboard going, ow, I'm okay. And then I'm like, am I done? Can I go home now? And I just miss those records so much.
Oh my God. It was kind of like we were at the after party of the Minnelli guest wedding. And I know that a lot of you are going, I don't trust us. That's like being in Satyricon. But you know what? All of us up here, as we've said, and we cannot say enough, how impossibly fortunate we all are, and we know it.
Yes.
But we don't draw them, and we don't write them. And that axiom that if it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage is absolutely true. David's crew, Jed Spingarn, all these
Yes.
And the creators, John Davis.
John Davis, Steve Odeker.
Amazing writers.
Incredible.
They don't get enough credit. We get to, have you guys clap for us, which is amazing, and have you watch it. We get to be here and sign autographs and have you love our characters. And I do feel like the writers and the creators don't get enough attention.
It's what's really nice is to be able to go back, and again, all of it is as a result of you guys. You could have a script written by Jesus and $30 million or someone else's money, and nobody watches. It's a fancy tax write.
Absolutely.
And so,
It's all about you guys.
yeah, and oh my God, we just have so many talented people, and now those of us who are still here, thank goodness, we get a chance to go and talk to our animator friends, our writer friends, many of whom are in different places now. And as a result of these wonderful opportunities, we get to let them know how monumentally entertaining and joyful their work is. It's really difficult to explain to people who don't have the privilege of coming to these events in our capacity. Say, oh yeah, people like it, but people's lives are changed as a result of your work. And you guys need to know that at this level. I mean, we've all been rich and we've all been poor, rich is better. But all of this at this level is not about ratings, merchandise, or salaries. It is about a pure expression of joy, which is an innately human thing, getting a little bit existential. But people love to laugh just for its own sake.
Yes.
And so thank you for laughing.
Round of applause.
Robbie.
Amen.
And when a young person asks me how I remain in a room, and I would always say I worked with a lot of stand-ups, and I worked with a lot of people coming into voiceover. One thing you have to remember, the very wise director told me this some blah 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 decades ago, and said the script already has the job. You need to make the words work that are on the page. Change the punctuation if you want to change the meaning. Find the character, but don't touch them because the script already has the job, and there's the poor writer in the back going, that's really funny, it's not what I wrote, but it's really funny, it's not what I wrote, it doesn't bring the story forward. So if you are a voice actor looking to break in, I would tell you when you go, respect the person that's invisible in the back, the script already has the job. And if you can make the script sing, you'll remain in the room. The people who are the guest stars that come in, they change all the words, they're one-offs, they never come back again. How do you make a character recurring? The script already has the job. If you can make what they wrote on the page, the writers and the producers feel they can trust you and they can bring you back and you're not going to be this loose cannon. So thank you, Rob, for saying that because that's why I was so happy to have Dave up here because he created that and then we did his words on that page. We are insane, don't get me wrong. Little reasons I live alone, come look at my desk, but we did the words that were on the page, and that's why the writers keep hiring us. Truly. That's it. I don't get it.
Okay, so
Daniel, you're still here? Hi, nice to see you.
okay, so before we sign off, I do have one question for each one of you, but specifically for Jeff and Allison and Rob. You know, obviously, you know, we have Dexter and we have Jimmy Neutron, that main characters, but really, it was your characters that really made those scenes jump off the screens as well. So on that note, can each one of you share your famous catchphrases with everyone?
Somebody's feeding here. Whose mic is feeding? Back.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, keep hearing it.
Oh. Well, I guess for Dad, it would probably be Saturdays are made for dads and for Dad's car. Also, you notice said, I hope you're not working on nuclear fission in there, son, because you could blow this whole house up. You know that. Oh yeah. Yeah. Eddie,
Jeff,
voice I stole so many times.
What character do you play?
Mandar.
Mandar.
Yeah, Mandar.
You guys like Mandar. You can do it. Listen to Jeff.
I
That's the best.
can't right now.
Oh, you're
That was his real voice, though.
That was his real voice.
Eddie,
Hey, collect. Eddie, I'd like you to do this. Don't say Dexter.
Yeah.
I'm after you. Say Dexter. I'm after you. Okay, pal, I got it. Dexter, I'm after you.
Yeah.
No, Dexter, I'm after you. Got it. Dexter, I'm after you.
If any of you saw the movie Grease, the
Yes.
original movie Grease with Olivia Newton-John, Eugene,
You
who was the
recognize-
same guy that played Mandar later on, Dee Dee's, he had
Oh.
a flame for Dee Dee.
Just-
She was really aware of him.
Have you ever seen
Same guy.
Speed Racer? episode where he was, man, he's so fast, and I remember Gimby kept asking for it to go faster and faster. It was just like, ha 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 ha. It was just so crazy, but he was so good. He was just so good in that lane. But just don't ask him to change up the words.
Yeah, and he also never learned to drive. Hey, Ralph, are you going to Hollywood or are you going to Valley? I'm going to the Valley. You mind going to Hollywood? Sure. Okay, I'll give you gas money. Ow! Do you mind dropping me in Hollywood Park? You love to play the horses.
Yeah.
Do you do it?
Do you like the horses?
Yeah, I didn't know if to go to Hollywood Park if you could get a ride. Sorry.
Oh yes, so on the show, I just like today, I didn't have a lot to say, except pretty much one thing, which was, ooh, what does this button do? Ooh. Okay.
I was just Major Glory, right? Yeah. Just as friends assembled. And gosh, Frank Welker was Crunk, right? That's the Crunk. And Tom Kenny was the extra stuff. And Tom and I did like 2 puppets, Puppet Pal, Clem, and I don't know, it was just, it's, when you actually, work is really a misnomer. It's not work. And people say, I have to go to work. Oh, no, we say, I get to go to work. And we have a gig in which we spend the afternoon or the morning or the evening or
Doing things we would have done anyway.
yes,
With each other.
people you would choose to have
Having fun.
as your best friends in the
So
world.
much fun.
And they're so supportive and so kind. And then we come out here and we have this privilege of seeing this up close. And it turns out that fans are just friends whom we've not yet had the pleasure to meet. So we all go home exhausted from saying thank you. Who has a job like that? And so all of us up here, this enthusiasm for what you have allowed us to have is absolutely, utterly authentic. We still walk around going,
When you guys come to our table and you say, you are my childhood, you don't know how you affected my childhood. We don't know until you tell us, and you have told us, and it's so meaningful and it's so special, and I mean, we're so lucky to have been given the opportunity to do this wonderful job, but not job.
Round of applause, everyone. Everyone will get one question. Does anyone have a question?
Yes, that's the problem.
Hello, my name is Maxwell. Quick question. What would a conversation with Jimmy Neutron and Dexter would be like?
Go ahead, Debbie.
Dexter, you want to work on something in my lab?
Well, I think that would be okay, but I don't believe that computer is mobile. Let me check, and I'll get back to you. But yes, I understand that your mom is kind of hot.
She's not! Who told you that?
This planet developer.
Don't touch that button!
But I think it would be better if we were at your place because I have this stupid sister named Dee Dee. What's happening? Where am I going? I'm here. You are so stupid. All right, let's go get some pie and we will discuss the root of pi, which I believe is 3.8675.
Enough. Just get in the hovercraft. We'll head over to my lab. Let's stop by the candy bar first with Carl and Chi.
Dexter, did you finally find a friend in there?
I would say that the jury's out, but he seems like a pretty cool guy. I love the hair.
Okay, I'll go back to my coffee.
Go to blast!